Yo, what's up? And welcome to the Ant-Man channel on this Tuesday, the 9th of July, 2013. Um, I had to stop my creation debate. I'm watching a creation debate between Kent Hovind versus Kyle Frazier and Dr. Michael Shermer. If Michael Shermer's a doctor, then I guess anyone can be. I mean, you could go to, probably Jeff Ross and probably give him a PhD. I mean, you could probably go to Barnum and Bailey's circus and give the ringmaster a PhD these days. Well, I don't know if that guy's actually smart or not. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, it's a joke. But anyways, I have an article in front of me here from thetimesofisrael.com, and this article is entitled, "Did Nazis Run the Jews Who Run Hollywood?" The Times of Israel cinema critics look at all the fuss over the new book, The Collaboration, Hollywood's Pact with Hitler. Well, it's no secret that Walt Disney put a lot of subliminal messages, and he kind of was a pedo when you think about it. The guy had a very strange fetish for kids, man. I mean, I think that I heard that he was a Nazi. I don't know, but the even Disneyland, the way that Disneyland's built, there's a lot of secret tunnels all over the bottom of like underground and all kinds of stuff. There's even places in Disneyland that most people that have been working there that are of high standing don't even know about or haven't even gone to. And there's really strange stories about Walt Disney and how he used to be locked in his wherever he was in Disneyland or Disney World, whatever. He would be locked in this certain place that he would always be at, thinking of new ideas, and like for weeks at a time without seeing his family and stuff like that, man. I mean, very bizarre, but I mean, it's no secret that Disney hid a lot of perverted stuff inside of the movies that I grew up watching as a little kid. I mean, it's just crazy that, and if you look at it, there is an old, you can even YouTube this, there's an old school cartoon of Donald Duck having a nightmare of him being in Nazi Germany and and he's just an absolute slave. I mean, they tried to condition you to, like, I don't know, man. It's just really weird that they would put that in cartoons, man. But there's a picture here of Hitler, sexy, killing people, murdering people. That's sexy in the 21st century. I mean, you see with all the females groveling all over cops and like military men, like it's so sexy. Oh yeah, it's so sexy to take the rights away from innocent people. It's so sexy to rape children and women in third world countries. Oh, it's so sexy. That picture I just showed you, it's Hitler, Goebbels, and others watched filming at Universum Film AG, the principal film studio in Germany at the time, 1935. All right, anyways, let me get into this article. He says collaborative, that's a very strong term. This is the somewhat diplomatic reaction I get from professor, film programmer, and author Eric A. Goldman when asked about a forthcoming book by Ben Irwand in Harvard University Press that accuses the Jewish heads of Hollywood's film studios of not just self-censoring, but taking creative marching orders from the Third Reich. Irwin's book has a title designed to make headlines. Few have yet been able to read The Collaboration, Hollywood's Pact with Hitler, but after an in-depth rundown of its shocking allegations were published in Tablet of June 10th, a number of other outlets, including the New York Times, are running with the story. Having recently read Goldman's The American Jewish Story through Cinema, which goes into great detail about how the Jewish-run Hollywood studios were reluctant to allow any on-screen mention representation of Jews during the lead-up to World War II, I was somewhat surprised by the reaction as I put it to Goldman. This is news. This is news, like with a question mark. I don't know. I'm not. I actually do get newsletters from a guy named Tex Mars. This guy believes that the Jews are like behind everything. I don't know. I don't read. If I were to get his books and read, maybe if I were to read his books or whatever, I would probably have a better opinion about this. But I actually know a lot of people that are always pointing me toward this this Jewish community or culture that is behind everything. I don't know that. I don't really know that. If someone can point me in the right direction, I would really appreciate it. But I mean, I hear a lot of crazy things, like the Jews that are in Jerusalem and Israel right now aren't the real Jews, and the real Jews are the Palestinians. I hear a lot of crazy stuff that probably isn't so crazy, you know, but I don't know. I really have to tell you that on that subject that I'm a little ignorant, you know, I'm a little uneducated on it, but hey, at least I can admit it. While Goldman is intrigued to read the new allegations, he points not just to his own work, but to that of Brandeis University Professor Thomas Doherty's book, Hollywood and Hitler. The fact that the studios rolled over the content that wouldn't play for the German market has not only already been discussed, but Goldman is concerned that the overly scandalous title might lead people to wrong conclusions. We tend to lose sight of the fact that movie studios have stockholders, Goldman counters. Germany, a huge market, represented a major foothold in Europe, and when new codes were put into place in the 1930s, addressing them was as much of a business decision as anything else. Trade? Yes, but collaborate? I guess. There are adjustments made to films right now for the Chinese market, he adds. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a secret that Red Dawn was altered because of who was invading, you know. They didn't want to make it too realistic for you, you know. They didn't want to give it away too much. And that's how it works, you know. If you're paying attention out there, they're trying to show you how stupid you are through all the movies, through all their puppets like Lil Wayne and will.i.am and Britney Spears and all these idiots. They're trying to show you a message that they are planning something for you, but that you're too stupid to understand. It's in all the mainstream media stuff, man. It's really, to me, since I've already caught up on it, it's really amazing to see it. And it's even more amazing to see that people are not even aware that all of these signs and symbols are in front of you. It's really amazing, because that's how elaborate it is. It goes back to the time of ancient Babylon, man, when everybody's speeches got changed by God for trying to build that tower and whatever. You know, they had to invent a secret language to talk to each other. That's where that ancient art of symbolism comes from. And if you look at Sumeria, that's all. You know, there's plenty of evidence in the ancient Sumerian, you know, hieroglyphs or whatever you want to call them, carvings. The 2012 film District changed the villain of Red Dawn from China to North Korea, like I was just saying. In post-production, Sony TriStar added in substantially more of the China set scenes to the film Looper, even though the filmmaker had removed them from the film for pacing issues. Furthermore, Goldman insists that none of the Hollywood studios were likely to make a film that spoke explicitly about Jews or Jewish issues anyway. The only film at that time that dared portray a Jew was The House of Rothschild, produced by non-Jew Darryl Zanuck, who later produced Gentleman's Agreement. One has to strain and squint at the life of Emile Zola to catch an explicit reference to Jews. Shocking when you consider this was a film about the Dreyfus Affair. The Dreyfus Affair, one of Europe's most notorious cases of anti-Semitism. Goldman's book goes into great detail about the psychology behind these decisions. Put bluntly, don't make waves. But his research does not automatically negate any of the allegations Irwan makes in the collaboration. I have some time to explain this to you. The reason why the Illuminati, they put these signs and symbols in front of you is because they want to be like, well, we warned you, we told you we were going to do this, so that's what you get. You see, that's what the Catholic Church is all about. They hate Protestantism because they feel like they're on earth they're the ones that are setting up the Great Deception. They believe that they are the ones that have to bring this about. And they believe that if you're stupid enough to fall for all the stuff that's going on today, that you deserve to get your head chopped off later on. They think that, you know what I mean? That's what the Catholic Church is for. I mean, it's really that simple. They're here to deceive you, and they get off on it, literally. So they are making up this whole, like, see, this is what evil does. They try to justify their actions by saying, see, well, we warned you by subliminal messages through music, through movies, through television, and you didn't get it, so you deserve everything that you get in the New World Order, the Fifth Age, whatever you want to call it. The Great Deception, the Great Tribulation. And for you guys out there that believe that the Roman Empire was the Great Tribulation, that's funny to me, all right? You have a normalcy bias, and you're just scared, and you need to get with the reality already. Goldman's book goes into great detail, and I already read that. And then Irwan's most disturbing claim is that the Jewish-led MGM investigated into factories that made munitions. How could Jews ever support this? Goldman muses at the thought. Though the question of who knew what when is one historians have been struggling with for decades. The book also promises more insight into the role of George Gissling, the Third Reich's consul in Los Angeles, who would see rough cuts of films and offer suggestions for change in tune with German audiences. One thing is certain, Goldman agrees concerning the worldwide coverage of the upcoming expos. He's got one hell of a publicist. And this is coming from the Times of Israel. Well, there you have it. Hollywood is owned by not a lot of people. Rupert Murdoch, if you know who Rupert Murdoch is, he owns